Hey everybody, I think it's time for a new season.
I think so too, man. We've been away for a long time. This feels kind of weird, I'll be real. This feels weird, like a little bit. Is it weird for you? Is it weird for me? Like, I don't know.
Well, obviously it's weird. I mean, but here we are trying to get back into things.
Yeah.
We had a long hiatus, and we're hoping to really get back into the swing of things. Really pick up the lost ground that we had.
Definitely.
And we're hoping to bring some new content. Really break some new ground. So yeah, I guess let's get started. My name's Godswill for all the new people who don't know. Hopefully, we're gonna get a lot of new people, and they'll be like, "Wow, how come we haven't been listening before?"
They'll be like, "Wow, this dude's name is actually Godswill."
That's right,
Dang,
folks.
that ain't no DJ name. No, it's funny. Like we'll go to bars, and I'll be across the room, and I already know like what's going down because you'll see Godswill pulling out his wallet for some reason, and a group of girls giggling. It's always because of the names. Like, no, your name's not actually Godswill. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
yeah, and I'm Godswill Jr.
Right. Like, oh my God. Yeah. So, yeah. My name's Godswill. I'm the baritone bro host.
And I'm your high-voiced host, Justin V.
Yeah, and this is our podcast, That's Dope, where we talk about things that are dope.
Yeah.
And today we have another great episode, like always.
Always
have
a great
our episodes
episode.
been bad? I mean, of course we've had some down episodes, but I don't think bad episodes.
Yeah, it's like I've had. It's like in the end, it's like you love all of your kids, but you always have that one kid that's kind of like, be better. It's not that you don't love that kid. It's just that be better.
I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to explain it.
I get you. And well, hopefully this is gonna be one of those grade A.
I mean, with that grade A intro where we spent
right.
about 2 minutes talking about absolutely nothing.
No. I think it's important. I think it's important. I feel like it's the type of thing that people will be like, why were they gone so long? Well, this is why. So yeah, here we are, and we have a great episode. And this episode is called Girl Power. We're gonna be talking about girls. Woo, girls.
Like we still have it. It's like we haven't picked up the mic in like months, and we still got the girls.
Yeah, got that sync. That
synchro. It's almost there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we're at that Gordon Logan. We got the. We're turning the keys. It's not fully lit up yet, but we're getting there.
Exactly.
Getting there.
Exactly.
We got to bring it back.
Exactly. Right. This is what we're hoping to do. So right now, we're going to talk about girls because honestly, like they're a big part of nerd culture, and honestly, there's a lot of stuff going on in the media, in the world actually, where girls are just getting maligned left and right. It's 2014, and we're having so many problems still. So let's show some love for the ladies, right?
Yeah, let's show some love.
Yeah. So first, we wanted to start by highlighting our favorite female protagonist. And actually, when I was making my list, I actually had a hard time doing this because there's actually quite a few that have really inspired me. And then after that, we're going to talk about a very special show of ours that we've been watching and been covering actually for a while. You guys all know it, Legend of Korra. After that, we're going to talk about just some issues that are going on in the world right now,
Yeah. Some of the barriers that are really preventing a lot more women from getting into the greatness that is nerd culture.
Exactly. And like just the stupidity of the issues, honestly. It's like, why are we having these problems in 2014? This is 1960. Right. Okay, maybe. But
it doesn't make any sense. Like how, for some reason, when I said the word culture, like I went so Indian, like culture. Like, I said like a couple. Man. So, yeah. But regardless of all that, Godswill, why don't you kick things off?
Okay.
Throw some female protagonists in.
My first is Marjorie from Game of Thrones. Like, there's a ton of other Game of Thrones characters that are awesome. Like Daenerys. Oh yeah. Arya, maybe even Sansa. Oh, a cat was awesome. I loved her. Oh, yeah. But I don't know, Marjorie for some reason sticks out to me where she's in like, honestly, maybe like the worst spot to be in, and she's just doing a good job. She's going in with just such wisdom and poise, and she's gonna like run stuff soon.
She does.
She's going against like honestly like one of the worst people you can go against. The freaking queen of King's Landing, and she obviously doesn't take anything for anyone, she very well could have been on this list, but I don't like her. But, I mean, honestly, like almost all the girls that are in Game of Thrones are awesome, but like for me, I feel like she's just handling her stuff so well. Does a good job of looking good too. But just like I feel like she's doing it she's going through the whole Game of Thrones series so far with just such wisdom that not a lot of characters have, unfortunately, and she's going through it with such like in a sort of slow manner that's very beautiful to me. Like honestly, I wish I could explain more like why I chose her, but
like I totally get it. It's like she knows how to play the game, and she uses all the cards that she's dealt. You know, like she uses her sexuality to some extent. You know what I mean? And it helps. You know, her graces, but at the same time, she's just very kind-hearted and very nurturing to the people around her, especially to the lower people. You know?
I think that's it. Yeah, it's like where the fact like she does care, you know.
Yeah,
and
or at least she makes it seem like
like honestly, I am wondering like if she does really truly care, but at least she has the knowledge and wisdom to be like, hey, let me show the people that I care, you know. And the fact that she was able to maneuver between Joffrey and the Queen and just the whole place of King's Landing, you know, all these people want to manipulate her or kill her or, you know, just do horrible things to her.
And yet she's on top right now.
Yeah, and even with Joffrey, you know, who was like, you know, I like torturing my horse. You know, she somehow managed to get through that. Yeah, unscathed, honestly. Like that's wonderful to me.
Yeah. I agree. You know, good choice. You know, Marjorie's definitely like one of those people who made my honorable mentions list. But if I had to think about a very strong female protagonist, the one that comes to mind instantly is Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've actually never watched Buffy. I don't know why.
It's a good show. Let's think about horror films in general. When you think about like a blonde and like any type of horror thing, generally speaking, she's like the first or the second person to get killed off. Yeah, you know, of course. It's like the black guy and then the blonde. I don't even know why.
The black guy is like, "Yo, this is dumb. Let's get out." And they're like, "Shut up, black guy." It's like, I think we shouldn't be here. But anyways,
but it's true, and it's sad to see. You know, that's generally the
formula.
The formula, right? Yeah. And that's one of the things that Buffy did so consistently was even from the get-go, it was so against the formula. Like 100%. Blonde girl here is not the one that's always like getting into trouble and always dying first. She's actually the one who's kicking ass and saving everybody. And she's doing so while at the same time like going through the emotions that a normal high school teenager and then eventually college student, I suppose, would go through, you know? Like, it's cool to see that duality where she's, you know, killing vampires at night and then struggling, I guess, to come to terms with her emotions as far as, like, how she feels about certain guys during the day, things like that. Like, she's, in the end of the day, she's just a very human character that a lot of people can just relate to, you know? She feels like someone who you see just in your real life who just happens to just kick a lot of ass at night that you don't even know, you know. And
that's what's up, actually. Yeah. I mean, because I when I was younger, well, first of all, I wasn't really that into like live action stuff. I was like, oh, you know, I could be watching all these great cartoons because you know this is the best time for cartoons.
Believe me, dude. Like, yeah. I wish I could say that I was one of those people who, like my friend Cecilia, had been watching Buffy since it came out, but I'm not that guy. I didn't watch or finish Buffy till I think I probably started in 2012. I'd like to say, okay. You know, and I finished just before I moved out in 2013, if I remember. Cool. So it was a bit of a journey for sure, but it was a great journey overall. You know, that show definitely recommended. There's actually a bunch of courses that discuss like feminism in the Buffy universe because it's that strong. It's not just Buffy, you know what I mean? Like Willow is just a very strong character as well. You know, the characters in general are very strong, but especially with Buffy, it's notable for having so many strong female protagonists in general who are just so well-rounded and just go through so many things, and in the end just use all the resources just to come out on top. That's and I love it.
Yeah, because honestly, like, I had no clue what the show was about, but you know, I'm glad to hear that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. What about you, dude? What was the other one?
Honestly, like when you also brought that up, I want to add Velma, you know, from yeah, right. Like just sort of thinking back, like she was the one who held the group together and actually like had the group catch villains. What?
She did plan all the traps and stuff, but she'd always have to make two plans. It's like the first plan would always mess up.
Yeah.
Second plan is always how it got done, son.
But she was the only one doing it. I mean, like, what was anyone doing? You know, Scooby and Shaggy were like, yeah, right? You're like,
Raggy.
Right? And then what were Fred and Daphne doing? Going in the van, doing their thing. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got to go catch villains. Crap.
Fred was like, yo, guys, let me spend like 70 minutes on my ascot. It's like, what is this? The 20-minute show.
Pretty much. Yeah, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It was dumb. Anyways, yeah, Velma should be on the list. I did want to say my second character has to be Mulan.
Mulan's a goal, man. I can't believe I didn't even think about that one. Mulan is such a good character.
Exactly. Like honestly, that was one of my favorite movies in the 90s, honestly. Like I remember like going to theaters and it's just like, why should I care? I remember like hearing a Christina Aguilera song and I was like, why should just like, why should I care? But like I watched it and I was just like, whoa, that's amazing. I feel empowered and I'm not even a girl. Right?
It's true.
I mean, this was me as a kid too, and then now it's just like, wow, this is very powerful. I do love it. In the scene like where she's climbing that pole, able to figure out using her wit, and like I know I'm not very coherent right now, but like because I'm just so emotional right now, and all the nostalgia is coming back. But I
feel it, bro. I feel it.
For me,
it's hard to be so eloquent when you have those Disney feels.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But for me, it's like she showed like how it's possible to have wit and intelligence to come out on top, and I thought that was amazing. She showed everyone how to do it. She broke paradigm. She was an iconoclast in such a period, like this is supposed to be like ancient China, or not ancient, but older China, in a period where girls are expected to just get married, and just do this. And she broke it all. She's like, I have a duty to my family. I have a duty to help out my friends and family and country. I'm going to keep on fighting even when I'm not supposed to.
It's true.
I'm gonna use my brain to get these huge Huns, honestly. It's like these guys that go through cities and raise them to the ground. Here she is, pretty much by herself, a ragtag group. All she has is a lizard and
Mushu is a dragon, sir.
A lizard. But like that's all she pretty much has, and a lucky cricket and a horse. I
love the cricket.
Yeah. Good times. But like she doesn't have that much, but she's just using like her skills, and it was amazing how she came up on top, and like was able to show everyone how it's done. And also, for me, it highlights a great time like in our period. I don't know why we went backwards, honestly, but like this was like, whoa, we have a strong female protagonist. The movie's all about her. It just sort of shows hope for me, I guess, like how I guess like as a culture we were moving towards that, that sort of standard. Buffy came out at the same time as Mulan did, right?
It's true.
What happened since then? But anyways, I guess we'll get to that.
Well, maybe, I guess on that point, like maybe like things like Buffy and things like Mulan sowed the seeds that have made it so that nowadays like we have so many more characters. I feel rather than just like a few select shows, and because of that nowadays, because we have like these young girls and fellows as well, obviously, who kind of watched all of these things. That's maybe why there's so many more discussions to this as to, hey, why are these inequalities still a thing to this day? Maybe, I don't think discussion and unrest is necessarily like a bad thing per se. I think it's just one of those things where we've had our eyes open and we're just a lot more aware of just everything that's going on.
Oh, that's a really good point, actually. I mean, yeah, this wouldn't be a discussion we would be having. Well, first of all, we wouldn't be having a podcast if it was 10 years ago. But, it wouldn't be a discussion we would be having if it wasn't for these things. And I guess if it wasn't, I guess sort of being steeped in it, where we realize now it is sort of, the inequality is a problem now.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we're two dudes of all things that don't get girls.
Dude, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. A lot has changed since our last recording.
Oh, yeah?
I like to think of myself.
Like, could you pray tell me what has changed?
That thing. I'm so alone.
Oh no.
I'm not.
Oh man.
I'm actually pretty good in my life right now.
Sorry.
But I digress.
We'll have Bro talk about that, I guess.
We'll talk about it sometime.
So who's your next character?
See, I want to go back into the 90s and talk about Faye from Cowboy Bebop, because I feel like she's just one of those characters who people are like, oh, she's just fan service. But really, like, she's one of those characters to me is so much more, in the sense that, like, she's, like, in this world, which is predominantly male driven, and she literally uses all of her assets. Like, she preys on the fact that, like, men like find her incredibly alluring to basically fuck with them and get what she wants. Like it's amazing. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Like people just tell us like, oh, our girl can't expect anything out of her. Next thing you know, she's walking out with the whole steel, with the whole haul, no problem. Like she's just such a badass character in my mind, and it makes me really sad to see like that character just be labeled as someone who's just there for just fan service when she's so much more.
That's a great point, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I digress. She's not even like the character that I really want to talk about. She's, I guess, my honorable mention.
Yeah.
The character that I want to talk about is someone a little bit more modern, and this character's only really had I want to say like 3 appearances so far. And that's Fiona from Adventure Time.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. So, for those of you who don't know, Adventure Time is a pretty phenomenal show. It follows Jake the dog and Finn the human as they go on radical mathematical adventures throughout the land of Ooh. But there's a very special set of episodes, and usually these episodes happen about once per season from the 3rd season onwards, called Adventure Time with Fiona and Cake instead of Finn and Jake. And this is basically a gender-swapped version of the entire show, right? So, for example, Finn is now Fiona. Jake the dog is now Cake the cat. And Princess Bubblegum is now Prince Bubblegum, voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. It's so great. And Marceline the Vampire Queen is Marshall Lee the Vampire King, voiced by Donald Glover. So great. But my point is, throughout these sets of episodes, Fiona, I feel, just serves as just such a great role model, especially for girls, especially teenage girls who are just like going through the ringer. Like, let's be real. Like, be a teenager sucks, but be a teenage girl just seems like the worst in my, like when I think about it, like all the things that you just have to go through. And she's just such a great role model, not just for young girls, but I guess for like, older girls too. There's a line that she says in the first Fiona and Cake episode that I'd like to read. This is actually after one of her guy friends, like, kind of just like, is like, whoa, you're actually pretty cool. I think I guess we should date. And she's just like, no way, man, not interested. And she kind of goes on this monologue where she's like, I think the reason I got all these guy friends and no boyfriend is because I don't really feel like I want to date any of them. I don't need to feel like I'm waiting to be noticed. I know who I am, and I'll know what I want when and if that ever comes along. And for me, that like just speaks so. This is a PG show, all right? This is TVY7, right? And that just speaks so much like to me, like, like it's a message that I think that definitely guys can take to heart as well. But definitely like girls in general, especially like girls who are in that demographic, just I feel like it's just something that they just like need to hear, because especially like in like our society, it's sad to say that like I've seen like so many like people in general, but especially like women, just kind of just almost compromise themselves to succumb to just shitty standards that us as dudes kind of put out, and it makes me really sad. And Fiona is just such a phenomenal character because she doesn't cave to any of that, like she's still a girl and she has like her emotions and all of that, you know what I mean? She's not a robot per se, but she's just so strong-willed, and even if she doesn't completely understand who she is, she knows enough about herself to be confident in who she is and not need to rely on someone else to bring her that confidence.
That's
and for that,
amazing,
she's like one of my favorite female protagonists. Even if she's in 3 episodes of the show with over 100 episodes, at least I think it's over 100 episodes, she's still just like such a great character.
That's amazing, honestly. Like I haven't seen too many episodes. Actually, I haven't seen any episodes with her, but I know about her. But that was really awesome to hear, actually. I guess I do want to say, like, as a disclaimer, which I probably should have said in the beginning, but it's like, yeah, we are 2 dudes talking about girl problems.
Yeah.
But I like definitely like just take our analysis with a grain of salt. I mean, of course, we're no experts because we're not girls.
Yeah,
but
and we're doing the best we can.
Exactly.
We're doing the best we can.
Exactly.
And so definitely like here, like ladies, like if you see something, or I guess like well-educated dudes too, if you see anything where we like fuck up like horrendously, like please call us out on it, in a nice type.
In a nice way, yeah, so we can all learn about this.
Don't be like, oh, Justin and Godswill, they're so misogynistic.
God.
And if we are, like, I'm sorry, I like to think I'm not.
Yeah, we're trying our best, honestly. I mean, we're trying to. How many other podcasts just talking about girls? Huh? None of that. No nerds are talking about girls, right? They're like,
it's true, and that's
the next video game is
sad. It's sad, but it's true.
Exactly. So, so we're trying our best. I guess I want to say my last character was Satsuki from Kill la Kill. I know a lot of people haven't seen Kill la Kill. Of course,
I'm waiting for it.
Why?
Just because, like, I've seen very little of Kill la Kill. I'm just
I really enjoyed it.
How this could be.
I really enjoyed it. And I do want to let you guys know, like, she is an antagonist, but she's the boss bitch. And she just runs everything. And I guess, like, the running theme for me is, like, I like girls that have, like, intelligence and that run stuff, you know? But just the way that Satsuki handles things, like, she uses charisma. Like, she uses, like, all the great characteristics of a leader, you know? Like, even if you don't like her, she has great characteristics of a leader that make other people want to follow her, not because she's brainwashing them or using anything against them.
She's just very calm, calculated, and charismatic.
Exactly. You know,
good 3 C's to have for every leader.
Exactly, and I like that. You know, just seeing that too. And then there's a major twist in the show that, you know, brings those out even more. So, you know, and it just blew me away when I first saw that. I was like, oh my God, what the heck? Yeah, but yeah, anyways, like, I'm not going to spend too long on, like, why she's awesome. If you know the series, you could probably see why, you know, but, like, those characteristics, and it's always awesome to see characters have those characteristics, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, it shows them as more than just, you know, a helper or, you know, just like a stock character, you know, like they actually have some depth and personality to them, or like they actually have some elements that make them, you know, a top person. Yeah,
I agree.
So who is your final character?
Yeah, I mean, I know everyone and their mom is waiting on me to say Elsa from Frozen. Don't get me wrong, Elsa is a fantastic character, and it's awesome that Disney would release a film, such a modern film, where the main character does not need any sort of male companion whatsoever. She's just a badass, and that's just how she is. And I love Elsa. She's great. But someone who I want to discuss is actually someone who has won me over very recently. There's a while where this character, honestly, just like frustrating the crap out of me, especially given, I guess, the show's creators' histories with making such well-developed characters who learn upon their lessons. Because for a while, this character just did not learn their lessons. It was so frustrating. But as of late, those problems have been rectified, and I'm happy to say that Korra from The Legend of Korra has become one of my favorite female protagonists, hands down.
Wow, really?
Simply put, like, I liked Korra a lot. She's a badass. She was such a 180 from Aang, who was, you know, like, I don't really want to fight anybody. And Korra's like, I will fuck your shit out so bad. Like, right. You know, except, you know, less swear words because Nickelodeon. But, you know, she grew into so much more than that, you know, as time progressed. Like, she was going through the ringer, you know? There were people, like, horrendous people who just would like nothing more than to just see her gone from this world. And, you know, she had all that political strife against her as well. And she just held it together very well, you know? She obviously have her, like, hot-headed outbursts, but that's just who she is to some extent. But she wasn't reckless. She just had her wits about her. Yeah. And she used her anger and her passion as, like, a driving force. Especially in the finale, like, she used it as a driving force to make it so that, you know, she could actually save the world and save herself. Yeah. And it was just such a great journey watching her finally become the avatar that she needed to be, not only in the show, but I guess from a personal perspective as well. And I loved it.
Dang, that was deep, man. I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, I liked when she, you know, used the earth bending.
Mario Brothers.
And Tetris. And it was really cool when she used the air bending to knock that guy off in the tower. Yes.
Godswill 2016. Godswill 2016.
Yes.
Vote for me. I do good stuff sometimes. Oh God. That's still battling this cough, guys. It's real.
Lord. Man. Yeah, but yeah, no, definitely. I truly agree with you. We did want to definitely highlight Korra because she definitely is really cool to see, like, such a strong character right now that is growing. I don't know what else to say. Like, you said everything pretty well about Korra, and honestly, I don't think too much else needs to be said.
And honestly, like, it's not just about Korra for me personally. Like, I feel like all the women in that show just
Oh yeah.
are so radically more developed than like the men in general.
No, that's very true.
but-
Honestly, like honestly, Asami.
Asami,
I
like,
thought I would hate her. 'Cause I thought she would go evil, but
no, like Asami is just so much more than just like a pretty face. Like she goes through the ringer and she just like gets it done consistently. Like she's so smart and so innovative, and it's just so great to see her just grow as a character.
exactly.
You know.
I want her to find a guy who's gonna treat her right.
Right?
But oh well.
She was more than just like the resident badass. Like she had a lot of problems, you know? I think one of the big things that people kind of mistake whenever they think about like strong female characters is not just like a perfect character who is just like flawless in every way, because that's not what a strong female character in my eyes is. That's not a strong character in general. Like a strong character is that badass, but at the same time has a lot of turmoil that they need to resolve, which is more than just the generic "oh boys," you know, when it comes to like girls. Like
Exactly. Like I think that's my definition of strong. Whereas like you're not so and so's girlfriend. You're not so and so's daughter. You are your own character because you have such defining characteristics that make you your own person, you know?
Exactly.
And you are able to, and for me, like strong is like you're able to handle the crap that the world throws at you, you know?
Yeah.
That's one reason I love Asami, because the world threw her a lot of curveballs.
Definitely. But I'm glad that you brought up like, I guess like all the shit that like these women have to go through in the show, because it's a good segue into just
Yeah, this is the last,
our last segment, which is just, I guess, like the depressing fact that there are just like a lot of barriers that women in general kind of face when it comes to just entering nerd culture.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure this is true for you too, but I like finding like this, like finding like the joys of media in general, you know, from all the different spectrums, you know, video games, books and movies and television and anime and everything. Like it just changed my life, and it's impacted me in such a unique way that's made me just kind of stick out kind of as a person, but I'm cool with that. You know, I don't like the concept of being cookie cutter, because then you're replaceable, and I don't want to be that. Like I want to be, you know, that weird shaped peg, because no one really knows what to do with it. True, but you can't really get rid of it either. You know,
that makes sense. That's a good point.
And I found so many phenomenal people because of, you know, my interests. You know, like you, for example, bro, like we met because you were wearing like a Kingdom Hearts shirt, and I was like, oh, I like your shirt. I don't know if I would have said it. I mean, I would have been nice or whatever, obviously, but I don't think I would have like said anything. We wouldn't have been able to have that dynamic that we did, you know, right off the bat, if it wasn't for that one thing that we kind of shared in common, was just our ties to like, you know, like this thing. And it's just sad to see that something that's brought us both like so much joy and made us like better people for it is at the same time the cause of so many problems. You know,
I wouldn't say it's a cause of problems.
well,
like
I mean,
feel
yeah,
like
you're right. Maybe not necessarily like
yeah.
the cause of problems, but it's brought us so much, but at the same time it's blocked off so many.
Okay.
Like I think that's probably what I'm getting at.
I feel like for me, actually, I don't think like nerd culture has done that. I feel like it's just sort of like for me, like here's some of my problems, right? Like one, it's there's not that much representation, you know? Like that's a huge problem. Like even though like we made this list and it is sort of extensive, and of course there's more, you know, people that we should have added on, of course.
Definitely. Think about like Meg from Hercules.
Yeah,
that girl was a badass.
Exactly. But honestly, like how, like just think about it. Like just think about the proportions, I guess, you know, like how many women are there that are protagonists or aren't cookie cutter, you know?
Yeah, or aren't just, you know, like especially in like anime, for example, like fan service.
Exactly. You know, like even like some of the characters I did list were sort of or pretty fan servicey, you know. Although like definitely they had like very deep personalities.
Yeah.
You know, definitely, you know, they're bursting at the seams with their curves, you know. But so, you know, it's like proper representation is a big thing. And then also like another issue, like, you know, just sort of made me want to talk about this issue today. Like, I guess like everyone knows, or not everyone knows, but like a big thing that's happening now is this thing called Gamergate, where there's a lot of controversy in the sort of video game journalism, and everyone's sort of making it about games. But from what I understand, like what this controversy is, and I gotta thank another listener of ours, Uriah, for sort of bringing me to this, and then also like sort of putting this idea in my head to talk about girls, overall. But the controversy is there was this journalist who pushed this video game on Kotaku, and he was like, "Hey, this video game is great," but then it came to light that the developer of this video game, her name is Zoe Quinn, she might have had relations with this journalist, and that swayed the journalist to push it and to give favorable reviews. And everyone's saying like, oh, like what's happening in journalism? But really, like the main issue was there was so much flack that came on Zoe Quinn, not on the journalist. For like, oh, she's a slut. She should, slut shaming. Like whereas really the problem was with the journalist, right?
Yeah, because it's just bad journalism.
Exactly. And it brought forward like a whole big issue, of feminism, of rights, of all this, And I'm not saying like either party is correct, but it's overwhelming how much flack came on Zoe Quinn, and definitely it's a big problem. It's highlighting like a big problem that's happening in the community. In fact, actually, yesterday I was reading a post from Yaya Han, where like she's a big time cosplayer, and she has curves at the wazoo. Oof. But but she made a long post yesterday where she was talking about like how people treat her, and how people have like sexually harassed her, honestly. Even when she's covering up everything, she's wearing a poncho, people are still grabbing at her, they're grabbing her like, ooh baby, come here, treating her just wrongly, like not really as a person, it's there's a lot of issues. There's cosplay, like from like girls that are like, oh, you're too fat, you don't fit the part, or girls that use sexuality in a way, to anime, to video games, to movies, TVs. There's a big issue, It's not just a standalone thing, And also, I have a sister. She's 14. I want her to feel comfortable. Like, I want her to be I would like for her to be a nerd. I would like to be like, yeah, you enjoy nerd culture like I do.
Do you feel like it's hard to like get her into the culture because of some of the things?
Yeah, well, yes. I mean, because like I feel like I have to explain like this is that, and this is the way things are. But hopefully, it's not going to be like this. Yeah. And you shouldn't think this is the way things are to be. You should change that, I feel. I'm trying just to open her mind. I'm trying to showcase good things, good examples. She's a smart girl. I'm not having to hold her hand with things like this, but definitely I feel it is hard.
No, I agree, and it's just sad to me. Like, I mean, like I think that like for a dude to be a nerd, it's pretty easy. Just be like, oh yeah,
I like Batman.
I'm pretty,
right.
I'm pretty nerdy. I like Batman stuff and comics and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, cool, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly.
But for a girl, if a girl says the exact same thing, then it's like, are you really? Aren't you just doing this for attention?
Mm-hmm.
Like, blah, 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 like there's like that endless quizzing and shit like that. Like a girl, it sucks that like we live in a society where a girl just like can't just be like she's a nerd. People can't just accept that at face value.
Yeah.
Everyone always is just like, oh, she's just doing it for attention. Like I remember going to like a gaming event yesterday. Of course, it was a room full of dudes, which is sad. But they were talking about how like girl streamers and how like easy it is for a girl. It's like, yeah, just have boobs and play video games. It's just basically free money. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, you don't think like any of these girls like just do this because they enjoy it? Like, is it really so asinine of a concept for a girl to like concepts like really good storytelling through unique mediums, aka video games? You think it's really so far fetched that a girl would be into stuff like that? Like, it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's just such backwards thinking, and I feel like it's one of those things that kind of makes it almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, like definitely where this behavior will ostracize more girls.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be part of a culture like that where you're so unwelcome. You know, you have to prove yourself. You know, you have to constantly. It's backwards and it's horrible.
Bad.
You know,
I don't. There's actually a really awesome Melee player, and she's also a great blogger named Milk Tea. She wrote a really long post on her experiences as a gamer girl in the Melee community, and she started off by saying like overall like the Melee community is phenomenal. You know what I mean? And there's definitely a lot of really great things about the Smash community. Like being a Smash Bros. Person, like I can see some of those things, right? But at the same time, it's like a girl shouldn't have to come to like a Smash Bros. Event, for example, and then be asked like, "Oh, you're just here like supporting your boyfriend," I guess. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't be such like a ridiculous concept. Like it shouldn't be where like a girl comes to like a Smash Bros. Event and feels uncomfortable because of like how often like. You know, like because like the things that people say, you know what I mean, like the phrases that they use, etc. You know, I feel like we are so strange and so backwards in the sense that people are always just like, "Where are the girls at?" But at the same time, it's just like, well, shithead, like you fucked this up because it's like it's almost as if you're like cooking like it's like you have a pot of boiling water. You know what I mean? And you're just like, where did those crabs scamper off to? You know, they're just right here on the table. Like, where the fuck do they go? You know, I mean, don't they want to jump in? Like, what am I gonna do?
Exactly. You as a caustic environment, it's like, who wants to be in it?
Hell no. If I'm a crab, I'm gonna be like, peace, bro, I'm getting the fucking out of here, Sebastian style. You know what I mean? Little Mermaid. Like, fuck all that shit, dude. Well, I guess Sebastian was technically a lobster.
Going back to the sea.
Under the sea.
Right, no, he's a crab.
Under the sea.
Wait, what is he?
Is he a crab or lobster?
I think it was a crab. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
He was a crab.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure he was a crab.
Whatever. My point being that, like, I think, like, the biggest call to action, and this might come off as preachy, but fuck it, I think it's important. I think it needs to be said anyways, is us as nerds in general, we live in a unique time. You know, we're all being impacted by this thing, and there's definitely some waves of progress where there are some really great characters that are coming out and whatnot. I want like a world or like the next generation of artists, of people who can make an impact, be they artists or businessmen or lawyers or whatever, to make an impact not just on like this culture, but I guess like on society as a whole, to a point where it's not so asinine for a girl to be like, yeah, like Batman. It's not so ridiculous for a girl to just play video games and read Game Informer rather than reading Cosmo. You know, like I want a world where like people can just like what they like and not be questioned or criticized because of it, regardless of like what their genitals are. You know, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect. There's definitely like a lot of things, you know, and especially like with this conversation, you know, I'm pretty sure like I've fucked up many times. There's going to be so many girls that are like, yo, you know, the way you phrased that was not perfect. But I keep coming back to this quote by Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is famous because he created Buffy. And amongst that, he also created like Firefly and Dollhouse. These are all such great shows with such powerful female protagonists.
Very iconoclastic for sure.
Oh, super great show. And he was doing this speech at a feminism conference where he was talking about how people always ask him like, why do you make such strong female characters? How can we keep making such strong female characters? How can we keep? And he gives different reasons over and over and over again. And then at the end, he gets more and more agitated as he's saying. At the end, you know, he's like, "So, Joss, how come you keep making such strong female characters? Because you keep asking me that question." And I was just like, "That's so poignant. That's so poignant, you know." And I guess to close my long rambling spiel, I'd like to end with something that George R. R. Martin said, and it was a similar question. Like, hey, you know, you have like all these really smart, you know, developed female characters. Like, oh, what's the process behind that? He's like, well, it's pretty simple. I think that women are people. Huh? He just ends it like that. That's all he says. Just like, I think women are people. Plain and simple. He treats women like people because that's what women are. Women are just people. Dudes, people. I feel like all of this disparity, like, is just really shitty, and it's just needs to stop because it's 2014 going on 15.
Yeah.
And I want to go to more Smash Fest and see more girls.
Wow, the truth comes out. No, I mean, but no,
I'd like to say that DFW Smash 64 has pretty good ratios. We're pretty welcoming as far as girls go. Lots of girls show up. That shameless plug, ruining the entire eloquence of anything that I had said in the past 5 minutes.
No, it was good. It was good. You got to plug. If anything, this is yeah, right. For me, I would like to say definitely I do think this is an issue that needs to keep being talked about. Just sort of like how race needs to be talked about. How there's so many issues that need to be talked about. I mean, this is about women right now, about race, right? Not yet, but we do have to keep on talking about this. That's why we talked about this right now because this is an issue. And I think the biggest disservice is to ignore it. It's a problem and it's not going to get fixed overnight. Yeah. But just every little bit that adds to the conversation, that's one way to fix it. Two, I guess, to keep on voting with your attention, your comments, your money, of course. On good projects that do have good leads. It's like this is what we want. Focus more on this.
And definitely, and with dudes, especially in nerd culture, you can't be making rape jokes and then being like, "Where did all the girls go?"
Yeah, exactly.
it's just stupid. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And then three old comments like that. I mean, who didn't say rape jokes before?
I mean, yeah, I'm not. I mean, definitely.
True.
I'm working on it.
Exactly.
I don't really
I'm saying we were all guilty of that. I'm guilty of that.
I'm guilty of it. Yeah, I'll admit that.
And it's up to us now to, I guess, get rid of that. Just like how people used to say the N-word, no, that needs to stop. This needs to be one of those things that's you're propagating the problem if you keep on continuing like that. And I guess overall, be more kind. Honestly, when you see bad behavior, stop that. You don't treat people like objects. Don't treat women like objects. Honestly, treat every the main. If you didn't listen to anything we had to say, you just spaced out. Listen to this. Treat everyone like a person and treat them with goodness and kindness. Don't treat women as sexual objects for your pleasure. Don't think that you're being nice in a way by quizzing them in a way. Weird, stupid behavior like that.
I agree.
Honestly, let's just try and move forward. Just like what Justin said, this is 2014, 2015. This is 1960, maybe. It'd be okay. No, never. But but no, we should be so much further than this right now.
And definitely, and this is a special shout out to, I guess, to all the girls who feel the need to almost be closet nerds. Just keep it to themselves because of how much they've kind of faced when they've gotten public about things like this. Let your nerd flag fly. One of the big problems that's going on right now is because there's just so many people. I know there's a lot of girls who are nerds who just don't really show it on the surface, I guess.
Yeah.
And because of that, whenever people are making media and things like that, they're just oh, why would a girl want to watch this? It's pretty nerdy with a female perspective. Why would a girl want? There's the people who would watch this are guys, and guys want to see guys on screen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Who are strong developed characters. I don't want to see these girls being strong developed characters because there's not an audience for it. But there is. Mm-hmm. There's definitely an audience there. It's just a matter of just letting yourself be known.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's more than just for you. It can be scary. I know, but it's more than just for you. It's, I guess, for everyone.
Yeah.
Because I know that if there's more people who are coming out as female nerds, for example, I think that by nature will make it so that guys and just people in general are just more cognizant and more aware, and not so much in their bubble that hey, it's just me and these guys and we're just playing this video game and saying horrendous slurs. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think it's a good point to close out right now.
Definitely.
Definitely. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk, and definitely please add to it. Talk about this.
Yeah.
This is an issue that needs to be discussed.
And like me and Godswill said, we are by no means experts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. If there's something that you see that is wrong, or if you have a question or whatever, let us know. Honestly, we do like talking with you guys, and we do want to all grow as people, of course, right?
Definitely. And please just, above all else, like, the reason for this podcast, above all else, is the conversation.
Yeah.
And if this kind of just ends right here and people don't really keep talking about it and there really isn't change, then it's almost gone for nothing.
Yeah, know? Exactly.
So yeah, with that in mind, I guess this is a good place to close off. For those of you who want to listen to more episodes and who are watching us on YouTube, there's going to be an annotation that's going to pop up right now. Yeah.
What if they're listening on iTunes or something?
Well, if you're listening on iTunes, we're on YouTube and we have annotations and they're great. And you'll get the episodes actually a lot earlier than if you're listening on iTunes. It's youtube.com/thatsdopepodcast. There's an annotation that should be floating around. Go ahead and click it. You could listen to more episodes. With that in mind, stay dope, folks. And have a great day.